and gentlemen, welcome to the Forum of Indian Business and Professional Council in the premise of India Club today. The program is organized by Retail and E-commerce Focus Group. It's a unique type of the theme which was proposed by Dr. Kanak, who is here with us. He recommended this program, although we did small workshops with CII and also for marketing and digital social networking a couple of months back. Taking the feedback from those programs, Mr. Kanak has come forward to introduce us Mr. Sandeep Nagpal. A big round of applause to Mr. Sandeep Nagpal. He has volunteered to be with us, spare the knowledge. Mr. Sandeep Nagpal is a seasoned leadership coach and trainer with over 25 years of experience. And currently, he is serving as the Master Licensee for Leadership Management International, called LMI, in South Asia. LMI is basically based in Texas, in the world's largest transformational leadership development organization. Mr. Sandeep, he holds an MBA from University Business School, Punjab University, Chandigarh, and possesses the multiple certifications, including executive leadership and life coaching from Symbiosis. His specializations today, we all can acknowledge with the workshop type of the conversation, the interactive sessions. I will not take much time, but I will definitely, because if I take time, it will be a reduction in the allocated time, what Mr. Sandeep just mentioned to me. I requested him, it is a 2-hour session almost. He said it is 1 hour and 45 minutes. So I don't want to take any one more minute from that. Mr. Sandeep has trained the professionals across the industries, particularly in manufacturing, working with companies such as Saint-Gobain, Siemens, Power Grid, JBM Auto. He is based in Gurgaon, India, and we welcome you. So please come on stage and take the forum forward, sir. Again, a big round of applause.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Dubai is a special place for us, with Dr. Kanak coming in on board as a partner for LMI. And we are looking to expand in this region. The programs that we do bring about a lot of transformation, result-oriented programs, and we guarantee these results. We are in the development business, so I'll not go into what we do right now, but I'll share what we are here for, which is leading yourself to your aspirations. So what is the biggest challenge to leading ourselves to our aspirations? Anyone? So can we have a mic here for the audience, please? So what is the biggest challenge for us? Please.
I think limiting mindset.
Limiting mindset, beautiful.
I believe self-doubt.
Self-doubt, one of the limiting mindsets that we have. Yes, fantastic. Anybody else? Courage. Fantastic, courage. So we fear failure. We fear comfort zone, absolutely. Right? Yes, please. Aligning everyone towards your goal. Okay? Lack of clarity. Beautiful. Let's give him a chocolate if we have one. So before anything comes in, do we actually know what our aspirations are? we are so engaged and involved with the daily fight. You know, we are so involved in what is happening today, the firefighting, that a lot of our organizations are known as crisis management organizations. So if we genuinely are interested to achieve what we truly aspire for, we first need to understand what our aspirations are, not just financially, but also for your personal and health, for your family and home, for your social, for your spiritual, and your aptitudinal and educational aspects. Because there are needs in every area, there are aspirations in every area. So unless and until we build clarity on what our aspirations are, we will not really be able to prioritize. And if we are not able to prioritize, what will happen? If we are not able to prioritize, what will happen? Anybody? It's a mess. We keep on doing things which are not really a priority. If we are not doing things that we focus on, that we prioritize, we are doing things that are not really a priority. Right? I'll give you a story that I gave in this morning as well. This is my mentor, Ashok Thusu. He's 75 years old. Around 20 years old ago, he had walked out of UNIDO after a 7-year stint with them. And he got into Rotary Club. I am sure a lot of you would be members of various clubs here. And he became the president of one of the most prestigious clubs in India, which is Delhi Southeast. And Delhi Southeast has given many national presidents for Rotary. It has given a couple of global presidents for Rotary as well. Right? And to give you a brief understanding, the average net worth of people in that club would be around 200 crores. Right? So he was the president of that club, giving in 6 years to that club, to Rotary. And his aspiration was to become a district governor of a district which had 110 clubs. So for those of you who understand Rotary, you would realize that means that he was getting married to Rotary and he was taking time away from his business and his family to focus only on Rotary. His life, if he became the district governor, would have been getting out with his wife from the home every morning with 4 to 5 pairs of clothes, because he has to attend 4 to 5 functions every day. And you can't go into a social function wearing the same clothes. Do you understand? So his life would have been only Rotary for the next year. And then he did a program called Effective Personal Productivity, where he set goals for every area of his life, and then he started to prioritize. And magic happened. Becoming a Rotary governor was 17th on the list. The task, the goal to which he was giving his entire life, 100% of his effort, money, and time, at the cost of his family, his business, and other priorities. So what happened after that? We created a very long plan, detailed plan on how he can get out of it, and he can put somebody else who's really keen and interested in becoming a district governor into that election and making sure that person wins. Right? Which would mean that his credibility doesn't get lost. So over the next few years, he made his family happy because he was now able to see what was his priority. He lost 16 kgs in weight. Right? Shifted from a multi-story house to a single-story flat. Why? Because his wife had bad knees. Because his maid had bad knees. Do you understand? What was the priority? And he became the South Asia head for Leadership Management International, which we jointly hold today. Right? So, what are we looking at now? Okay. So, it's all about the hidden potential which only becomes visible when you aspire for something greater than the current. And most of the times, we don't even know what our potential is. I'll give you an example. Wilma Rudolph. Anybody has any idea who she is? But I will guarantee you that you will never forget this name after I tell you her story. 20th of 22 children, underweight when born. 20th of 22 children, right? Pneumonia and even mild polio that left her with a mild limp. This is a woman who's limping due to polio. Braces. She had a leg brace to help her walk. So everybody was laughing at her and pulling her down. And what happens to her self-image? When you have braces and everybody else is running around, how are you feeling? You're not even feeling equal to them, right? But she had a vision, an aspiration. Practiced relentlessly. By age of 12, she became a great runner. Why? Because she wanted to prove to those who were laughing at her, who were pulling her down, that they cannot stop her. They cannot limit her. By 16, she was competing in track races. By 1960, she won 3 Olympic golds in Rome. This is a woman who has polio, who has one leg shorter than the other. Do you understand? So Wilma's story teaches us that a clear aspiration is the first step to greatness. Without it, challenges can feel like walls. With it, challenges become stepping stones. The moment you have that fire in your belly, there is nothing that can stop you. Whether in business leadership or life, when we know what we want, we find ways to get there, just like Wilma did. Right? I'll give you another story. There's a woman named Arunima Singh. Anybody's heard of her? Arunima Singh was thrown off a moving train. She fell on the tracks, and both her legs were cut off by another train that was coming from the other direction. And then she was lying in a pool of blood for the whole night. In the morning, when people found her, she was barely alive. She was picked up, taken to the hospital, and somehow she survived. When she woke up, what did she say? She said, if God has saved me, it is for something bigger. Now I will climb the Mount Everest. This is a woman who did not have legs. So magic happens when you aspire for something bigger than yourself. Bichendri Pal, who was a mountaineer and who had climbed Mount Everest, said, I will coach you, I will train you. But imagine the pain somebody has to go through even to walk when both your legs are cut off. Ask somebody who has an artificial limb how much pain it is to take one step. Leave aside climbing a mountain. And what did she do? She's climbed almost every major peak in the world, not just the Mount Everest. That is what aspirations can do for you. Right? So remember Wilma's story. We are successful people, yet if I ask you, have you reached your potential? What would your answer be? Not yet. Right? So every one of our report cards, what did it say? The teacher would write, can do better, has a lot of potential. Remember? So, These are the answers, right? Very few yeses would be there. Because if you say a yes, what happens? So all of you who have not reached your potential, please raise your hands. And if you feel that you have a lot of potential to be reached, raise both your hands. Right? Fantastic. Brilliant. Is reaching your potential important to you? Come on, yes? Fantastic. Why is it personally important for you? Why? Satisfaction, self-esteem. What else? Fulfillment, sense of achievement. It's your calling. There's a beautiful book called Die Empty. It's a very small book, quick read. What does it say? Don't die with the song inside your heart. Everything that you have, give it out there, put it out there. You understand? But what do? I wish. Yeah. So what stopped me from reaching my potential faster, I asked you. What are we actually doing in life? Waiting? Procrastination, thinking, overthinking. If this happens, that will happen. If that happens, that will happen someday. Right? So what? It can be external factors, but not really. Right? There's a gentleman named Tony Robbins. Anybody has heard of him? Anthony Robbins? Okay? So in Hindi we say takiya kalam. His go-to phrase, what he repeats over and over again. So what does he say over and over again? You don't fail because of the lack of resources. You fail because of the lack of your resourcefulness. Even people with no money are getting funded, becoming billionaires. They have nothing, just an idea, but a belief that that idea can actually change the world. At 25 years, people are becoming billionaires, even lesser. Right? And there are internal factors. And for those internal factors that you talked about, whether it is procrastination, whether it is comfort zone, whether it is fear, what are you really doing? What are you really doing? Come on. Postponing conveniently. You are trying to drive with your foot on the brake. Do you realize? You're actually trying to drive with your foot on the brake. What is happening then? You're burning out. You're getting frustrated. The happiness that you should feel, you should be jumping out of bed every day. Because all of us who are sitting here are blessed. Do you know that? We have both our legs, both our hands, both our eyes work. Right? We are all healthy. Right? Or wrong? We have good jobs, good businesses. We live in nice houses. Right? Our kids go to good schools, good colleges. And we've been blessed to get great education. Sir just told me here he's got a PhD and 2 masters. Right? External factors are not in our control, though we can make some proactive efforts to manage or overcome. We can anticipate if Trump comes in, there is going to be some amount of chaos that he's going to create. Right? So if there is a policy change, we can't really do something about it, but we can anticipate that if this kind of a challenge happens, what will you do? Right? These affect us, but are not directly in our control. Internal factors, these are surely in our control. Getting out of comfort zone. It is said life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Because till the time you're in your comfort zone, you're only doing what you're comfortable with. Which means there is no excitement. Why? Because you have to do the same thing over and over again. There is no spontaneity in it. There is a lot of boredom in it. Right? But you don't want to risk going out of that comfort zone. Right? These are gaps within us that we have failed to address so far. So what are we going to do from here on? Because each one of you can achieve more. Right? There is even a gap between good and better. There is a book called Good to Great. There is a book called Good to Great by Jim Collins. And he said, we are so satisfied with good that we don't want to strive for better. We don't want to become great. I'll give you a simple example. Very simple question that I ask you. If you have to go out and eat today, will you want a bad meal? Would you want an average meal? Would you want a good meal? Or would you want a great meal? Right? Will you want to travel 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers for an average meal? So what do you strive for? If you want to go for a movie, will you go for a movie which is rated 4.6 out of 10 or a 5 out of 10? But why are you satisfied by being average? Because people don't pay for average. Do you get it? People don't recognize average. You can buy an award, but you know, and you will always know, did you deserve it or not? Do you get it? So, what are we going to do? Gap between just being competent and gaining mastery. I'm putting it in small letters here because that is how much focus we have on it. That is how much importance we are giving to it. Because we are not ready to go through the pain. We are not ready to go through the struggle. We are not ready to take on that discipline that is required to gain that mastery. What would have taken a Wilma who was limping to go on and win an Olympic medal? To become the best in the world? What would have taken the effort, the discipline for Arunima Singh, who did not have feet, legs, to go on and climb the Mount Everest? Why are we talking about them? Would you want people to tell your stories? Would you want to leave a legacy like theirs? Do you understand what I'm saying? There is always the gap between insufficient and sufficient. Also gaps in identifying top options you aspire for and setting goals that lead you to your aspired potential. Goal clarity. Knowing what you truly want in every area of your life and then prioritizing it is what makes all the difference. Sometimes it is the dreaded disease of pessimism that hinders us, even though we may not be aware of this. We are not letting the thoughts of what we can be, right? Which one are you? Half full or half empty? Which is the third one? Right? So what is half full? What does that mean? But are you satisfied with that half full? I have half a glass, I'm happy with it. I don't want to go to that counter there and get another glass of water. Right? So half full means that there is still scope for more. You're moving towards the positive. Half empty means you're pessimistic. Oh my God, half is already gone. I'm 50 years old, my life is almost over. Right? But more businesses have been started, more successful businesses have been started by people in their 50s than by people who are not. Because you have more experience. You have more competency, more knowledge. Right? Possibility, necessity. So pessimism is a brake applied on possibilities, like I said. Your own mindset, your own limitations of your own self are like the brakes that you've applied while you're trying to drive your car. There is only one person who stands between you and you achieving your potential. There is only one person between you and your success. Who's that person? Right? So what are you going to do about it? If you can get to your aspirations and potential faster, if you address these gaps, would you like to do so? Yes? Louder? Fantastic. It depends how committed you are to yourself, to your future, to your possibilities and your self-belief. So when we do these programs, we have a facilitator normally facilitating the programs. But in Japan, there is no facilitator. Why so? Because they are self-motivated. And a few of them who are not, they are called in a hotel, in a setting like that, along with their wives and their families. And the facilitator gets on stage and says, okay, whoever needs a facilitator, please stand up. So people would stand up. And then he would say to their families, he is not or she is not interested in your happiness. Do you think he should be working on making you happier? You get it? So what happens after that? The person doesn't need any more motivation. All right? So, if you want to achieve your potential, raise your hand. If you really, really want to achieve your potential, raise both your hands. Fantastic. Wow. Wonderful. Love that. Okay. So gaps are mostly effectiveness gaps, effective enough to unleash your potential. And we'll see that. Broad types, personal effectiveness, team effectiveness, goal attainment effectiveness, business-related effectiveness, effectiveness on preparing for you for the future. We'll explore only this today. But which is the most important here? Personal effectiveness. If you can develop yourself, if you can become the best version of yourself, what will happen? Anything is possible. Anybody knows Mahatma Gandhi? Yes? You don't know Mahatma Gandhi? So Mahatma Gandhi has a beautiful quote. He says, if every human being can work to his potential, if every human being can work to his potential, there will be no problem left in the world. Do you know that? There will be abundance of everything. And that is true. Because look at people who have actually worked to even let's say, nobody reaches their full potential. But let's say an Elon Musk. Where has he reached? Right? This is a gentleman who hails from a country called Zimbabwe. Right? Moves to a United States of America, gets bankrupted multiple times. Bankrupts everybody in his family, everybody in his friend circle, anybody he could go for money. And then what does he do? Creates more millionaires and billionaires than anybody else in the world. Right? Because he just isn't willing to give up. Not just that, not for one thing. Everything that you see, every company that he has, you will see that he has been able to do what nobody else in this world thought possible. And today, everybody is following his door. How many people thought that a rocket can go up into space and then land back? America didn't, Russia didn't, India didn't, China didn't, France didn't, Germany didn't, and they had hundreds and thousands of billions of dollars and the best minds in the world working for them for hundreds of years. And here is one gentleman who knows nothing about space, walks in to a Russian general and says, "Can you sell me some rockets? I want to send them to the space." He says, "Are you out of your bloody mind? Do you understand?" So he said, got up and walked out. He said, "Your loss." Right? Hired people and built a rocket which cost 300 million to Russia at 30 million cost. Now everybody in the world is running after him to buy those rockets. He has multi-billion contracts with almost all the space agencies to build those rockets which can come back. And now multiple other companies have been able to do it. Yes? So what are we doing? So does anybody know Roger Bannister? Anybody? 4-minute mile. So in the 1900s, it was supposed to be medically impossible for a human being to run a mile in 4 minutes. Right? Medically impossible. That a human cannot run a mile in less than 4 minutes. If he even tries to, he will harm himself. Nobody told Roger Bannister that. Right? So what happened? He ran a mile in less than 4 minutes. And what happened in that year? 17 people ran in that year. More than 50,000 people have already run a mile in less than 4 minutes. What happened? Suddenly the impossible became possible. Do you understand? So, I hope you are able to read this. If not, I'll read it for you. Personal effectiveness gaps, the enablers are mastery on how well you spend your time, mastery on how well you plan. Everybody has 24 hours, even Elon Musk, even Trump. But they are able to wear multiple hats and are able to create what nobody else has been able to create in their lifetime. Mastery on how well you are self-organized. Mastery on how well you prioritized. Mastery on solution-centric mindset. I'll take a minute here. What is solution centricity? Anybody? Possibility thinking. So how many of us are possibility thinkers? People who are not focused on problems, on not why it will not happen. How many of us, when our children come home and say we've got 95% marks, what is the question? First question that you ask. What about the other 5? Do you understand? So are you possibility thinkers or not? Because you're looking at the problem. That is how we've been conditioned. That is how we've been trained. right? Whenever we walk into the office, what do we see? Whenever we walk into a party and we see somebody dressed, well dressed, what do we see? What's missing? What's not fitting? So we are actually searching for mistakes, faults. A person sends you a report. He's put in 2 months into that report, day in and day out. And when the report goes back to him, what is there on the report? Comments, red marks. Change this, change this font here, change this color here, whatever, right? You didn't get up and say, wow, you spent 2 months. You've done a great job. And rather than a but, if you add these 4 things, make these 3 changes, it will become even better. If you do that, what will happen? If you tell your child, 90%, wow, fantastic. Right? And then maybe later you can go back and see where those 5 got lost and where they can be recovered and all of that. But imagine we getting 95%. Do you remember our times? Right? If somebody got 60%, our parents were celebrating and distributing sweets to the entire village. Right? So what are we saying? So I can prove to you that each one of you is solution-centric. Do you get it? But we forget about it. Should I prove it to you? Okay. You own a car? You drive a car? Has it ever got a puncture or, right? So what happened after that? Did you reach home? Did you ever think that you will not reach home? Anyone? Did you ever think of leaving the car there? Why? You would pick up a phone, get somebody to come and help, or change the tire yourself if you have a stepney, or if you are far away from help, right? Or you'll take out the tire, even if you don't have a stepney, you will take a lift or get a cab or whatever and take it to the nearest shop and get it repaired. Right?
Yes.
If somebody gets unwell in our family, what do we do? What do? We take them to a doctor. Let's say the doctor is not the right one. Then you take him to another doctor. If the hospital is not something that you're satisfied with, do you stop? Do you stop? You will go to another country. You will talk to multiple specialists. Suddenly a person who's extremely shy starts to pick up the phone and calls up 20 people. Where does that shyness go? Where does that fear go? Suddenly, because you are cornered, because you have no choice. Do you get it? But because we keep giving ourselves a choice, that comfort zone creeps in. I'll give you a very simple example. How many of you meditate? A lot of you. Fantastic. So there was this gentleman that I was coaching. He's a CFO with a $3.5 billion company. And his name is Tarun. And he comes in and he says, Sandeep ji, I have a problem. And I'm not finding a solution. And I'm not even sure if there is a solution. I said, okay. So he said, I want to meditate. I put in a lot of effort. I have gone for Vipassana. How many of you know what Vipassana is? So 10 days of Maun Vrat, getting up at 3:30 in the morning and not getting any dinner, right? And 11 and a half, 12 hours of meditation every day, right? He's done it 4 times. He says, for a few days, I'm able to meditate after that, but then it fizzles out. right? So I asked him just one question. Is it a choice? He said, no. I said, so why do you make it one? That was 2018. Today, we are sitting in 2025. He's not missed a day. Even if it is 31st of March when you have to file your financial results. Do you understand? If you found the right motivation, do you get it? You will be able to do it. Mastery on motivating your own self. You need to wind your own clock. Remember those clocks? So if you can't wind your clock and you're waiting for somebody else to come in and motivate you, it is not going to happen. It might happen for a split second, for a few days, but it is not sustainable. John Maxwell, the #1 thought leader in leadership in the world, was asked a question in one of the conferences like this. How do we motivate our people? I said, you can't. He said, hire motivated people. Because if you want to motivate somebody who's not motivated, the investment on that is far more than the return. It has a diminishing return on investment. Because what will happen over a period of time is that, so I don't know whether you've seen fruits. If you put one bad fruit in a basket of fruits, what is going to happen? Do you understand? It is easier to decay than to heal. You get it? Even all those fruits together will not be able to heal that one fruit which is decayed. Okay? Mastery over your habits. Show me a person's habits and I will tell you how successful that person is. Which means your success is totally dependent on your daily routine. Okay? So how many of you have never gone to a dentist? Is there anybody who's never gone to a dentist? Or maybe once in a while, once in a blue moon. Right? Most of us. Why? Okay, how many of you don't brush your teeth every day? Why do you brush your teeth every day? Right? You take care of one part of your body, daily hygiene. Why? If you don't, it'll stink. Not because it'll rot. Because there are other parts in your body which are rotting and you're not doing anything about it. Do you get it? So those 2 minutes every day take care of the health of our teeth. So what are the habits that we have? Is personal hygiene, personal health important to us? If it is not, then what are we doing? Mastery on pursuing consistently the right focus. When does focus come? And when focus comes, what happens? Focus comes when you have clarity. So there are so many of you who are here, but a lot of you are not focused. There is that fickle thing called a mobile phone which keeps popping up, right? Or that urge to talk to somebody who's sitting right next to you. It's a 2-hour requirement, right? Without these enablers, you can't attain effectiveness to your true potential. I was coaching at a business school. It was a C category business school. So let's say A category, B category, C category. And they asked me, what is the difference between an IM graduate and us? What do you think the answer is? Focus and self-discipline. When you go to an IM, you need to do 20 hours of work every day. 365 days a year for 2 years. Right? And you work in a team. And you need to sleep, you need to attend classes, and you need to eat. And in spite of that, you need to do 20 hours of work every day. So what happens after 2 years? In those 2 years, you become great at teamwork, identifying the strengths of each other because you're doing group study. And you're ready to take advantage of that, and you're able to do 20 hours of work in 8, 10, 12 hours, depending on how effectively you use each one of these enablers. So when they go to the corporate, what happens? Why do they differentiate and grow as fast as they do? Because when they go to the corporate is giving them 10, 12 hours of job, of work to be done in 8 hours. And by the 4th, 5th hour, they are already done. You get it? And they are disciplined enough to pick up more after that. You get it? They want more. They're hungry. And that is why they are able to achieve so much more. That is why when you pick up somebody from an IM, the moment somebody says, I am from an IM, what happens? Your respect for that person is suddenly much more than it was before that. Okay? So these are some typical gaps that are there. Goal setting, goal planning, and then execution. These are for goals. Time optimized, prioritized, and eliminated. There are so many interruptions that are there. And every time there is an interruption, it takes away at least 10 to 15 minutes of your concentration. And at times you don't ever get back to that line of thought that you were in. And then focus, organize, visualize, and acted upon. We are here for something today. How many of us will actually be able to take what is possible from here? Fantastic, brilliant. Right? In balance, personal versus business. We guarantee this as a byproduct. Life balance is a byproduct. Being stress-free is a byproduct of getting organized. Passion, fire in the belly, desire, truly discovering what makes you jump out of the bed. This is the 3rd workshop I'm doing today. Today. Right? Do you see me tired? What do you see? Excitement, right? With people, connect, empathy, listening. John Maxwell has a beautiful book called Everybody Communicates, Few Connect. And if you don't connect with the person in front of you, what is going to happen? There's no trust. And if there's no trust, what is happening? There is no teamwork. They're not going to go out of their way to get things done. There is no ownership if there is no trust. Delegation, knowing what to delegate, why to delegate, and how to delegate. Teams, purpose, engaged in performing. Teams are not synchronized. There is no transparency. Because there is no trust. People don't know each other. What is happening in somebody's house? Is somebody stressed or not outside of work? If you give 10 minutes of undivided attention to somebody, if you listen to somebody for 10 minutes, what happens? If you listen to somebody without getting distracted, what will happen? You will get connected and they will feel so important. But your life and their life will change forever. I'll tell you how. Whenever you will think about them, what will happen? You will remember them, remember that conversation, and you'll have a smile on your face. What will happen to them when they think about you? Right? They will also have a smile on their face. They will want to spend more time with you. Every time you see them, what will happen? You'll have a smile on your face. They will have a smile on their face. So what is happening is that you are creating a positive energy that will be percolated, transferred to everybody around you. Okay? So we help people to become more effective in all areas where LMI has found gaps. Now let's start this workshop. Can we distribute the workbooks, please? So there's a small amount of work that needs to be done. Are you ready and willing to do it? Yes. We'll help you discover a lot of things. Okay? So you have to become the person you need to be in order to reach your aspirations, which means you have having goals. Yes? But do you have becoming goals? Do you have becoming goals? Because to have something, you have to become someone. If you want something different than what you have today, then you have to become somebody different than what you are today. So unless and until you have becoming goals, right? So what did Wilma have? She had a becoming goal of a athlete. Arunima Singh had a goal of becoming a mountaineer. Do you understand? So unless and until you become that, having is not going to happen. So if you want to become a millionaire, if you want to have 10, 50, 100 million in your bank, can you think of yourself having those 100 million? Can you think of yourself deserving of having those 100 million? The day you do, that is the day your journey will actually start. Phone ringing? All right. So that's my competition, right? So how many of you are willing to do what it takes to address these gaps that hold you back from your future potential? And if yes, raise your hands. Fantastic, I love that. Both the hands, right? Brilliant. So let's listen to this video before we move forward. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. Okay. So you have, the first sheet is, there's a circle, right? So inside the circle and outside the circle with an exercise, whatever you have today, put it inside the circle. Whatever you have today, put it inside the circle, and whatever you want that you don't have right now, but you aspire for, put it outside the circle. A very simple exercise. Things that you already have. So all the things that you dream of having. The 6-bedroom bungalow, the Ferrari, the Maserati, 100,000 Rolex, whatever. $100 million business, Business Tycoon of the Year award, you being on the cover of Forbes magazine, whatever your aspirations are. Climbing the Mount Everest? So one of our friends had an aspiration to go and take a dip in the Pangong Lake. I don't know whether you know where Pangong is. It's in Leh in the month of December when it is frozen. She actually trained for it. She's from New Zealand. She trained for it and finally did it after 3 years of severe, strict practice. Okay? So, is everybody done? Come on, open the book and start writing. No glasses? I can give you mine. Your mind needs to be aligned. Your body can do anything. If you don't believe it, watch the videos from David Blaine. If your mind believes it, your body can do it. Okay? So you can write down both professional and personal. You can write down social, you can write down spiritual, you can write down for family, home, health, whatever. Right? All done? All right? Now, okay, we need to figure out. Okay, you figure it out, we'll come back here. Right? Complete the what and why. So the next part of it is what and why. So what is it that you want? And why do you want it? Why is that an aspiration? Why not double of it? Why not 10 times of it? So I'll give you an example here. There is a gentleman named Pratik. Remember this name? His name is Pratik Gupta. You will see that name very soon. Right? So Pratik came in 2018 and he started on his goal setting process. And he asked him, what is your goal? And this was a group of around 12 business owners who were working with us. And he said, I want to create a $1 billion company. I want to create a $1 billion company. And he had a 80 crore company, which is probably 10 million, 12 million at that time. Right? So from 12 million to 1,000 million is what he was talking about. And he started laughing. Right? So I asked him, why did you laugh? He said, I worked with a lot of coaches. I've done a lot of programs. But this goal has just remained a goal. I said, okay. So my question was, why a billion? Why not 10 billion? If you want to laugh, laugh out loud. Right? Make it 100 billion. Why not 500 million? Why not 100 million? That is also significant enough. Right? So now he starts to think. And he said, if I create a $1 billion company in Faridabad, which is a town, industrial town right next to Delhi, I would be a role model. People would look at me and talk about me with a different kind of respect. If I go to a college, I will be given lifetime achievement awards. Right? Now that is his why. So next question was, by when? So he said, before I turn 50. Right? So I said, okay, great. How many years? He wrote down the number of years. And I said, now, what is the CAGR, which is compounded annual growth rate that you require to get to $1 billion from here to when you turn 50? It came to 22.7%. Next question, what is your CAGR for the last 3 years? He said, I don't know. I said, who knows? He said, my finance guy. I said, pick up the phone, call him. So he picked up the phone, called his finance guy, asked him what was the CAGR for the last 3 years. Any guesses? 27%. And he said, what the bloody hell? This is doable. This is doable. And he walked out of there. And he called up his father and other guys on the board of directors and set up a board meeting. Right? So his goal was, 2025 goal was 500 crores. His father passed away somewhere in the middle. The company was split into 3. One given to his chacha and one to his father's elder brother's son. His current turnover is 762 crores. You get it? From something that he was laughing at, when the why became clear, the how appears on its own. How doesn't matter. So once done, go to the bottom of the page, list out top things that you want to work towards in the next 5 years and why you want them. Next 5 years. You could do it for 3. You could do it for to be should reflect a statement of the pinnacle of what you, as a leader, want to lead your organization to become eventually. Dream big. So there are something called BHAGs. Big, hairy, audacious goals. So there is a professor, based out of a small town called Solan in Himachal Pradesh. His son was the managing director of McKinsey in Switzerland. And he reaches out to his son when he retires. In India, they retire at 60 years of age. And he says, son, I have 25 lakhs with me and I want to set up a university. And I know that your organization has done feasibility studies for universities. Will you help me? The son laughs at his father and says, even if you had 25 crores, a university would still not be possible. You need at least 100 crores to start it. What did the father do? Father went ahead and let him laugh. And went to every person that he knew who can help him to set up that university. Right? And today, Shulini University is 11, maybe 12 years old. And it is amongst the top 2 private universities in India. In terms of research, it is one of the top universities in India. In the middle of that journey, somewhere, Atul, who was the son, left his job and joined his father and is now the vice chancellor of the company, of the university. Do you understand? Something that required 100 crores was set up by a 60-plus-year-old guy with 25 lakhs. So what is possible and what is not possible is here. A professional with the best of network in the world, best of education, Ivy League education, access to billion-dollar funds, multi-billion-dollar funds, thought it as a laughable idea when his father put it up. And today, it is going head-to-head with the top universities in the world in terms of research that it is doing. Right? So, can we go to the next one? We can go to the next sheet. Which is, what do you aspire for? Let's say whatever your business is, put a figure there, put a date there. What do you aspire for? And you can do it for your personal goals as well. And if you, is there someone who doesn't own a business, you can do this for your own personal goals as well. Whatever goal you want to take for yourself. So in 5 years, where do you want your business to be? So as it says here, can be expansion, can be higher and more of current, can be new business, start exports, new opportunity, as is appropriate in your position. A result goal should be what you write down here. In 5 years, where do you want your business to be? A number. And today's date and 5 years down date. Yeah. Can you get a mic there?
Hi, my name is Sumit. Here it mentioned about in 5 years, where do you want your business to be? What if your goal is apart from business?
You can take that.
How do we quantify that?
So tell me what are you talking about and I'll help you quantify.
Somebody, let's say, I am planning to reach to a certain position in service, like
Sure.
for example, I am in banking.
Brilliant.
So I have to reach a certain level, then how will I quantify that?
So give me a level that you want to reach at.
Okay, so let's say a director level.
Director
So
level.
I have to mention that.
Write it down that I want to be a director. Go back home today, go to Vista Print and print out cards for yourself. Director banking or whatever your position is. And I'll show you how quickly that will happen for you. Okay? And do write the salary that you want. Do write the salary that you want at that designation. All right, so if there is anybody in the job, they want to get to the next level or to 3 levels up, in 5 years, 5 levels up, it can happen. But only if you work on it. Okay. Any other question? So next section is about obstacles. Pick up one obstacle and then write a solution in front of it. Don't go to the next obstacle till the time you have written down a solution, because if you write down all the obstacles at one go, your mind will close down. Oh my God, so many obstacles. This is part of something which is called a goal planning system we have within our programs in LMI. So it helps identify solutions, which may be actions also at many times sub-goals. So it is proactively anticipating what can go wrong. And if you're anticipating, they don't come as a surprise and you're ready for them, right? That is why they teach so many case studies in business schools. So I'll give you an example. A normal kid in IIMS stays there for around 500 plus days. In those 500 days, they study 500 case studies. Every day, there is a case study, which is almost 40 pages long, right? And each case study has 5 solutions given with it, and you have to come up with a 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, depending on number of students in that batch, right? Group of 5 comes up with one solution. So if there are, let's say, 100 students in one batch, there are 25 to 26 solutions to one case study that they have. Into 500. That is the number of solutions that they walk out with when they walk out from that campus. Right? And when they go in to present those solutions, none of the people in that group knows who will be presenting. So everyone needs to be ready with the presentation. The professor can ask anybody. All right? So keep going. If you have a question, raise your hand and one of us will come over, either me or Dr. Kanak. Keep writing down. Yeah, please. So this is a question for the stage. All right. Can you repeat your question? If you can give her the mic, please.
Very well. And sometimes, or majorly, we say that we know the solutions also. But nothing is happening, nothing is moving forward. We are not able to get those solutions well.
Right.
Implementation
So
problem.
give us an example. Something that has actually happened.
Like, I am good in training. I am an AML expert, anti-money laundering expert. And I want to be known to be a trainer. But I am not able to communicate this to the society, or to my business network, that I am into training, like that. I'm not KHD approved. I can collaborate with somebody who is already approved, or I can get my KHD approval. So solutions I know, but then also it's not working.
So what is stopping you?
That's what I don't know.
I'm asking you. You know. It is not that you don't know.
No, I
So
think
what is
I'm-
stopping you from collaborating?
No, I am collaborating. I have opened up that area for me,
Okay.
and had words with many, but nothing is working out. They are very keen to do stuff with me.
Wow.
They trust me, but then also things are not working out. That's what.
See, if you have reached out and they are willing to collaborate, they have business and they are still not collaborating, then they don't trust you.
No, they trust me. Like, for instance, I go training with them. For instance, day before yesterday I went, and for some reasons the main trainer got busy, and I was there to take his charge, and I did full training. Like, it was a 45 slides training, and I did till 40 slides training, and only 5 were left, and he came, and he trusted me that I'll take over and I'll
Fantastic.
take so they know me well, but then also things are not moving. I don't know why.
Okay. All right. How many of you know the story of a Chinese bamboo tree? Fantastic. So what does the story say? Yeah. Yeah. So if you take Indian bamboo and if you take Chinese bamboo and you grow both of them simultaneously, what will happen is in a few days, the Indian bamboo will sprout out and it will start to grow slowly. Nothing will happen to the Chinese bamboo tree. But you still need to keep watering and fertilizers and everything that is required. Right? For how many years? And after that, in a month it grows 40 feet. Do you understand? So it is all about RCT. Repo, credibility, and trust. Okay? So whenever you're going out to sell, so first thing that you need to understand is that you need to sell. Right? So what's your name, ma'am? Gunjan. So Gunjan, what is your opinion about yourself as a salesperson?
I know my concept well, what I do.
I didn't ask that.
No, that's
the question
what I'm
is very
saying.
simple.
I'm going there, but I think I don't know how to sell myself well.
Does she have the answer? Do you understand? The self-belief. I know I am a good trainer. The senior trainers, other established trainers trust me. The client trusts me to come in and deliver that training, but I don't trust myself enough to sell myself out there. Do you get it? Getting into a business of your own, where you are the deliverer of a service, is all about self-belief. And trust me, if you don't believe, the other person will never believe. If you come to me and say that I want to be a trainer with you, your company, and inside, what is happening? Do you get it? And the other person does this every day. Yes or no? They're meeting with so many trainers. They're meeting with so many other vendors. So they see that energy gets transferred. Do you get it? So unless and until you build that belief that you are the best trainer that they are ever going to find. Okay. So 2015, Gunjan, I was forced into leadership development by my mentor. Forced. Because every time I would get in front of 10 people to speak, I would start to tremble. I would start to sweat. And I would start scratching my head. And my face would go red. So do you think I could have become a trainer? Girls in my school don't believe it yet. Because they said in 3 years that you were in school, we never even heard your voice. Do you get it? But what changed? My mentor trusted me so much that his transference of that trust pushed me into one such situation where he decided that let's go together, and halfway he came back, I have an emergency and you go. And that was 2015, Saint-Gobain, the largest client that India had at that point of time. 15 people in the room, all at least 15 years elder to me. And I was trembling. And I walked in there somehow with cue cards in my hand because Ashok gave me those cue cards and said, Sandeep, you can do it. And if you have any question, you pick up the phone and call me. So I'm mustering up my courage. And I'm thinking, and he said, nobody has done the program. So even if you go wrong, they would not know. Right? So I walk in there and I'm mustering up my courage and going in front of them. And I'm thinking, they are thinking, what will this kid teach us? Right? And then there's a 16th guy walks in. Sandeep, whatever you vividly imagine, ardently desire, sincerely believe in, and enthusiastically act upon shall eventually come to pass. And what happens to me? Oh my God, he's done the program. I can't even make a mistake. Right? I walked out of that 4-hour session completely wet with 102 fever. Right? My wife thought I need to go to the hospital. I said, something has happened. Right? Because that was the day I discovered what I was born for. Right? And after that day, nobody could tell me that I can't go out there on the stage and do this. Right? And my self-belief was so much that I walked into the next client's office and said, I want 100 plus people to do the program, and you need to pay me 1 crore for that. Do you get it? And because I was so confident of what we'll deliver, because we tell them, we guarantee, if it doesn't work, take the money back. Do you get it? So they need to believe that you believe. Right? Will you ever buy something from somebody who's not confident? Okay. So are we done with this? Have we written down as many obstacles that you could come up with and the solutions for that? If anybody needs more time, please raise your hand. No, as many as you want to. This is just a sample for you so that you can go back and do it on your own. I know you will not do it on your own. So that is why I'm wanting you to do it here. Yes. A mic, please. Run, run, run. We need somebody with a little more agility and a little more energy here.
Building upon what the challenge she mentioned,
Gunjan.
you have to create a situation wherein, they need you more than you need them.
Yeah, but that's a journey that she will have to take over a period of time. But I'm saying if today she wants to sell to one of you, who does she need to pose as?
She's into AML business, consultancy. In insurance, they never sell insurance. They sell fear, people buy insurance.
Absolutely, absolutely. But she's training, not selling insurance.
That thing, what will make them buy?
Absolutely,
May
absolutely.
not be training, but understanding this, so you will need to know this.
Absolutely, absolutely. You need to sell them what they are looking for. So if they are looking for you, yeah, please. Mike, please run. So if the mic can reach the participants in 15 seconds or less, there will be a prize for the people who are giving the mic.
Hi, my name is Chitra.
Hi, Chitra.
Yeah, I'm coming first time. Since she spoke about, since you were telling about self-belief and other things, I would like to share my story. I basically run a consultancy. I'm a chartered accountant. So last 6 years I've been running the business of consulting. So when I started, it was at the peak of Corona I started. That's where my daughter was also born. I didn't have any option. So 1 year, nothing was happening. So a year later, things like, I started to get clients, I would say. Then there was nothing like peak or, it was all stagnant. So I don't know what to do. So again, I was working sometime. So I thought, why don't I start working? But the job market also didn't meet my expectation, and the reality is completely different. So it again came to a conclusion that I have to do business only. So at one point of time, I really believed myself, okay? So that's when things started to attract, and I started to, take things in a right way. So I think this will act as an encouragement for her. That's why I wanted to tell.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Absolutely. Yes, let's give her a big round of applause. Okay. So once you complete it all, go to the last page, which has a section on business goals. Write down all actions or sub-goals you have identified and use the prioritizing method of ABC. So this is called A, to start immediately, which is critical ones. B, essential but not urgent, stage 2. And C, also must get done. Right? So this is also based on the theory of constraints, where you can say this is also based on the Eisenhower's matrix. A, start immediately. If you don't get them done, there will be a loss. So for example, if I have to give Gunjan an advice, quick 20. Pick up 20 people that you can pitch your idea to. Right? If you've made 20 pitches, what will happen? If you've repeated yourself 20 times, what will happen? No. Practice only makes it permanent. So if you're doing the right practice, then it gets perfect. If you're doing the wrong practice, it becomes permanent as well. So you need to figure out what works for you. Who's your target audience? That is the first question. Who are those 20 people that you're going to pitch to? You can pick up 5 from here. Ask for volunteers. I'm going to come and pitch to you. Right? Are there volunteers who will allow her to come and pitch to them? Yeah? Hello? Please speak out your name. Dr. Mustafa. Sumer. Deepak. Ganesh. Okay? Fantastic. Great. So we have such helpful people here. Thank you so much for that. Let's give them a big round of applause. Right? So 2 minutes to write down all the actions, or 3 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever you want. You tell me how many minutes you want to write down all the actions, and in front of each one of those actions that you've written, write down an A, B, or a C. Business goals. There is a business goals page. Okay. Sorry. Before the wheel of life, I think the pages must have gone up and down. So, page before the wheel of life, or I think the fourth last page? Fourth last page. So, if there are, I think there are 16 pages or 15 pages in this, Dr. Madrecha? 14. Okay. So, 10th or 11th page, I think. Business goals. So just because we are working on the business goal, write down all the actions or any sub goals that are there, and write down A, B, or C, and then write down the date when you will complete those A tasks. Right? If you can put a time also, that will be even better. Look at your calendar and then put it in your calendar. So whatever gets in your calendar, what happens to it? If it is in your calendar, it gets done. Right? I know I'm a little pushy. So we can schedule another session in a month or so where I will come and hold you accountable to what you're committing to today. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If you don't track, there is always a fear of leakage. That is why there are so many auditors, and that is why they are so successful. And you pay a bomb to them, right? Are we done? So we'll not take a break because we are limited on time. We'll quickly go forward. So this is a very simple, very quick exercise. Everybody is done with the actions, prioritizing A, B, and C, putting dates on it, right? Would anybody like to share what is the goal that they've taken? Can we quickly get the mic rotated quickly? Okay. So we'll take 5 of them. What is the goal that you've taken?
So by December 31st, 2025, I want to make a team of 10
Okay.
strong in my own system.
Wonderful.
And everything, all the systems and processes in place, very known in India and UAE, leverage my money for a bigger things, and all departments in-house, like whatever right now I'm leveraging,
Okay.
by December I have to put in place.
Okay.
And a strong team with a one vision.
Wonderful.
So that's
Fantastic. Fantastic. And you've got the actions in place for that? Fantastic. So he has clearly defined his goal, yes or no? He has put a date to it. So what is going to happen? Who's going to hold him accountable now? That sheet of paper. Right? Okay. Who's next? Yeah, please.
Okay, would like to have a consultancy unit in the gift city, very specific, within 3 years. And in next 5 years, I must have 100 families being consulted or benefited from the more specific on the pre-nups financial planning.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Let's give them a big round of applause. All right. Who's next? We can take 3 more. Come on, don't be shy. Yes, please. Ganesh, right? Wonderful.
Great business, reach 100 million AED turnover by 2029.
Fantastic.
Doubling every year with process-oriented manufacturing and trading and exploring more markets.
Fantastic. Fantastic. More power to you. Okay. Who's next? Come on. You are free to raise somebody else's hand for them if they are not willing to do it themselves.
Oh my God, I'm forced to say something on my goal. So I'm in real
Fantastic.
estate at the moment. And I want to sell as, like, all the people here, the properties, if they want, they can come to me and I will be interested to sell them. That's my goal.
Okay? That's not really a goal.
No, see, if I want to sell as many properties or I want to bring happiness to people, I have a long-term goal, I have a short-term goal.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm talking about at the moment. If somebody asks me, what do you want to do? This is my desire, and that's what I want to reach to sell to as many people as I can. This is my goal.
No, perfectly fine. As many is not a goal. So you say, if there are 80 people here, then you are talking about 80 properties, right? And those properties could be a 1-bedroom, a studio, or a 6-bedroom.
No, I want to sell 2 million to 10 million properties only. That's it.
Fantastic. So now you're getting somewhere. How many? From here till, let's say, 31st of March 2025.
51 properties.
51 properties in the
Yes.
next 5.5 months. Or
Yes.
six months, let's say.
1 year's time.
1 year's time. So 51 properties in 1
1
year's
year's
time. Okay, fantastic. That's a goal. That's brilliant. Yes, please.
Well, hello. Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
In fact, I just want to say my dream and one project which I am doing for the last 3-4 years. 5 years I started, and now it is in the final stage, which is a traditional treatment system in God's own country.
Okay.
That is, I have 27 small villas, which I have constructed, and I've sold it to all the NRIs here.
Okay.
All the 21 I sold it to NRIs, and 6 more are left. That's my target, and once I complete the project, I'll be going regularly there. Now I'm going once in a while.
Okay.
And this is a project which is introduced by the Prime Minister of India,
Wow.
Ayush project. They are giving 10-year visa for traditional treatment in God's own country or in India.
Wonderful.
So I'm taking people from Middle East to God's own country.
So how much does it
and
cost?
It's very reasonable. Maximum Indian 35 lakhs per 4 cents of land and a small villa.
Okay.
And it is 100% possession will be handed over.
Wonderful.
immediately.
Okay. Talk to me after the session.
Sure.
Right. Okay. Anybody else? Come on. Yes, please.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Bharat Polgani here, and I'm working as the delivery manager in the Emirates Group.
Excuse me.
Right now I'm working for the Emirates Group, but by 31st December 2028, I want to achieve my lifetime goal of the 10 million manifesto, which is an AED, by leveraging my salary as well as the recently announced bonus and the bonuses plus the connections that I'm going to make today and the hereafter by leveraging the money that I'm earning, as well as the capital gains that I'm going to get, and eventually starting my own. So the 10 million AED by 2028, 31st December. That's the goal.
Fantastic. And eventually means when?
So right now I'm looking at 31st December 2028.
Is when you want to start your business.
No, that is 10 million AED net
Yeah,
worth.
so that's what I asked you. Eventually you want to start your own business. When is this eventually going to be?
Yeah,
Is there a
on-
date for it?
Yeah, on 1st Jan 2029.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Let's give him a big round of applause. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah, please.
Myself, Feroz. Actually, I was doing 15 years, have started up the company for setting up of the companies in UAE. Almost 40,000 companies have set up. Now, my vision is to be a level up consultant. So, 1st of January 2026 onwards, what I wanted to make it that one, this company, I wanted to hand over to my other people. And 1st of January 2022, if any companies, after 3 years, the chief CEO should not be a chief every task officer. He has to be delegate the power. So since I have done 3 companies, 2 consultancy companies and 1 bakery manufacturing. So now I thought that one to do something for the society, the business people.
Brilliant. Let's give a big round of applause. Fantastic. So I don't want anybody to be left out. If there is somebody still wants to share, please feel free. Otherwise, we'll move forward. Anybody? Sir, excuse me. Would you like to be here? No, we'll like to hear what is so important that you're... So you can do that after this as well, right? Right. All right. So what are we going to do now? It's a very simple exercise, but it is one of the most powerful exercises anybody has ever done. We have a 15-week program based on just this exercise. 15-week program in which people spend 60 hours with us. One session every week for 4 hours. So 60 hours they spend with us to build upon this one exercise, which is called the Wheel of Life, right? You have the Wheel of Life in front of you. So let's see how crooked your Wheel of Life is. So on a scale of 1 to 10, you need to tell me how satisfied are you with these 6 areas of your life. So the 6 areas are finance and career, family and home, personal and health, social, spiritual, and educational and aptitudinal. So rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on how satisfied are you with where you are. It is not about how many hours you spend. It is about how happy, how satisfied you are with whatever you are doing in that area of your life. Sure, absolutely. So we are being given 10 minutes, so we need to complete this in, let's say, 6 minutes. And then I'll debrief you on what we are going to go about. Right? So now, if you've done that, try and create a crooked circle that you have. So current time per week in front of that, you can divide that particular column into 2, where it says current time, and on one side you can write the current time that you're spending, and on the other side, what do you want to spend going forward? What does the right amount of time look like? Once you've done that, which is the most important for you? Yes, not according to how much time you're spending, but what is most important to you? No, this is how important is, what is the most important area in your life, let's say. So a lot of people say, making money is very important for me. Somebody would say, my family is the most important for me. So what is most important for you? Number one, then number two, number three, number four, number five, and number six. But always remember that right in the middle of that circle, what is there? Right? So what does that mean? So your personal and health has to be the most important all the time. It doesn't make you selfish. If you are not the most important person for yourself, if you don't take care of yourself, you will never be able to take care of others. If you genuinely love people in your life, take care of yourself, both physically and mentally. Okay? So now go to the next sheet, which is making the wheel of life work for you. Pick up top two things that, no, this is not the one. Okay. Top two things that you want to do in this particular area. So whether it is your family and home, whether it's your personal. So in the next 2 years, what are the two things that you would like to see happen for you? Yes, this page, absolutely. The next page, the next page. After the Wheel of Life, there is a page called Putting the Wheel of Life to Work. Top two goals in family and home, top two goals in finance and career, in mental and educational, physical and health, your social and cultural, spiritual and ethical. Right? So as we have limited amount of time, please, whenever you have time, schedule a time right now for yourself. Again, this is about you. This is not about anybody else. So you need to take ownership. Schedule a time, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes for yourself. Write down all the goals and then prioritize those goals. Which are the 2 or 3 goals that you want to take up now? Work on them and then move on to the next goals. All right? Because if you have the next goals to move on, then what happens? There is an urgency that comes in to complete the goals that you have so that you can move to the next ones. Right? And if you have the next goals very clearly defined, then what happens? Then you don't waste time on thinking what to do next. Right? So keep adding goals to this as you go forward. Right? So, yeah, these goals could be income, wealth, mental satisfaction, image, power too, and all that. Right? So homework is to review and complete your next 2 years' personal goals. Right? Look at page 1, things outside the circle. Look at the wheel of life. What goals can you set to make your wheel of life larger, rounder, and smoother? Look at the perspectives. And then some of them plug in directly to be worked upon in the next 2 years. Others you can put in your personal goals sheet and see when you want to go about it. Right? Remember, education without application is nothing but entertainment. If you go from here and don't do anything about it, then that feel-good factor will remain for a few days. Right? But nothing is going to change if you don't change. So what will you feel like when you change, become better, and reach out to your deserved potential? What will happen? How will you feel? Fantastic, okay? Fulfilled, fantastic. Aligned. Happy. What else? Content. Excited. What will happen? Grateful. Beautiful. Absolutely grateful. And what does gratefulness do? Makes you feel great and make others around you feel grateful as well. All right? Right? So any questions anybody might have? Any questions anybody might have? Many more. Trust me. Yes, many more. So we've done multiple hundreds of people with that organization now. Yes.
Well, I just wanted to quickly say that, for example, you wanted to be a trainer, and then the story you said.
I didn't.
You didn't want to be a trainer, but the change that you had, and how you have, you were very nervous, and that story you said. So, how did you? Was it just some sort of an epiphany? It just came to you, or is it something you did? I mean, you did this seminar.
Okay.
And how does that help someone like me? If I want to be a trainer, but I may be a successful businessman, but that's not what I want to do. So how did you get that change? Was it?
Yeah. So I keep on telling people I'm blessed, right? I keep on attracting what really, really works for me. Why? Because I'm looking for it all the time, right? I've done X number of businesses. You can put any number in front of that. I've been into manufacturing, I've been into media, I've been into recruitments, I've been into real estate, I've been into education. I had a tie-up with Harvard Business School to set up a business school in India, right? So I've done a lot of things, and I've been on a job multiple times. I've run an advertising agency, I've been with media companies. Why? Because I was exploring. I was still looking for something more, because I was not finding happiness and satisfaction, right? And when I did the first group of mine in St. Gobain that I told you about, 16 weeks for that group, 16 sessions. And when we finish, there is a graduation ceremony, and all the people who are attending, there were 15 of them in this group, they would come and make a presentation, and they will talk about how good the program was for them. And we would distribute certificates, and we would go back home, right? And while we were going back home, I get a phone call from the HR head there, and he says, Sandeepji, you will have to come back. Right? I said, what? Did we miss something? Ashok was with me. I asked him, did we miss something? He said, no, we didn't miss something. He said, we'll book the hotel again, and you need to come for 2 hours. Right? So we gave them a date that this is the day that we are available. And when we reached there, something unique happened that had never happened in my life. So the wives and children of those 15 people were there on stage. And they talked about, the kids were crying, they said, thank you for giving our parents back to us. Right? Wives talking about, thank you for letting our husbands come back home in time, because it was the largest plant for St. Gobain. People would go in at 7:30 in the morning and come back at 11. Right? Why? Because they thought that was the most important thing, and nobody else can do what we can do. Nobody else can do it as well as we can do. So by the end of those 16 weeks, we sent all of those 15 guys on a holiday. Without phones and without laptops. They had no access to their teams. And their teams performed better than them than when they were there. Do you get it? So they were able to delegate, and now almost all 15 of them are CEOs in one country or the other. Yes, please.
Keep searching until you find your ikigai.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And if you know that being a trainer is what is really important for you and that is what makes you happy, go out and fight for it. If you found it, you are blessed. Right? There are very few people in this world who find their true happiness, their true calling. Right? It is said, if you love what you do, you will never have to work a day in your life. right? And John Maxwell keeps saying, you are born twice. One when you're physically born, and one when you discover the purpose of why you were born. From that day onwards, nobody will have to tell you, you need to do this or you need to do that. You are already on fire. There is a rocket behind you. You get it? All right. Anybody else? Or should we? He's waiting patiently out there. Any other question? Yeah. Oh, there are two of them. Quickly. So we have, yeah.
You mentioned about your goals, and there are some constraints or challenges in achieving your goals.
Yes.
But there are always a big time lapse between you keep on trying for a certain goals and there are hindrances always in your path.
Sure.
What is your mantra for keeping yourself motivated during the time motivated during the failures that you achieve on your path?
Right. I'll tell you what my daughter says. Right. She says, what is wrong with you? She asks me, what is wrong with you? I said, why? You're always so excited. Do you understand? Even if things are going wrong, what happens? I have another effort to put in. Is there something that I've missed out on? Is there a resource that I'm not utilizing? So for example, you want to grow to a particular level. What is the easiest way to grow? Go to your boss and tell him, boss, I need your position. Tell me how to get it. Do you know your boss will be proud? Right? Unless and until he's very insecure. Okay? So I can give you hundreds of examples. You can go and find a Sukesh. He was with Siemens and he wanted to be the R&D head for India for that. He went to his boss, very, very apprehensive, very scared. But because his boss had already done our program, so I said, don't worry, go to him. He said, why? I said, he did the same thing 3 years ago. Right? So he went to his boss and how things change. Now his boss said, no, you can't be the R&D head. And this guy has got a small face and he calls me up. Sandeep, he said I can't be the R&D head. What have you done? You've ruined my career. I said, go and ask him, why did he say that? Right? Because he got up and walked out the moment the boss said that you can't be the R&D head. So he told him that you cannot be the R&D head for India. You can be the global R&D head for us. But for that, we will have to merge the R&D department and the engineering department in India. Why? Because globally, it is the same department. It is a merged department, and you will not be able to get a global position if you are only the R&D head. So let me go out and reach out to my team in Germany to figure out if we can do that, and it will take maybe 2 to 3 years. And then he was sent to Germany for 6 months to train to be the head of engineering department. Right? So over the next 3 years, he was mentored and groomed to head the engineering and R&D department in India. This was 2017. It started off. Today, he's the global R&D head. So he was moved to Europe head, and now he's the global R&D head for Siemens. Right? There will be obstacles all the time. But if you're prepared for those obstacles, if you're welcoming those obstacles, if you're not focusing on the problem but the solution, and if you're resourceful enough to do whatever it takes, it is only a matter of time when you will start saying, where are the obstacles? Come on. All right? Okay. Last one. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So there was this girl who was a daughter of a client of mine, and she was doing her engineering second year. She had just finished her engineering second year, and she said, I want to leave the engineering and do design. In an Indian traditional company, family, That's a very, very big thing to do. Right? And my question to her was, which college? She said NIFT, which is the #1 design college in India. I said, do you know what it takes to crack the entrance for that? And you're 2 years too late for that, right? And you lose these 2 years, maybe 3 years, because you need to prepare for that. She said, I'll crack it. And I said, if you will crack it, your family will accept it. Right? She cracked it. She went on to do the engineering. And at this point of time, she was depressed. She was visiting a psychologist, visiting a psychiatrist, because she was a gold medalist all through. And even though she did not want to do the engineering and wanted to do design, she was still topping her class. That was the pressure that she was putting on herself. Do you get it? So then she was invited by one of the designers in Italy to do her internship with them because she shared her designs with them. Right? So, yeah. Should we call it a day? Right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for the very engaging session. Just now, Karthik ji came and told me that he has been a part of many, many events. He is our convener for telecom and technology focus group, but he has not seen the crowd getting so engaged. Thank you so much once again. May I now invite Karthik ji and Kanak ji to come up on stage to felicitate Mr. Sandeep. Mr. Sandeep, please come up on stage. Thank you, Karthik ji. Thank you. Dr. Kanak, please stay back. And if I may request you for the vote of thanks.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. I think Dr. Sahith Chaturvedi already, he was in a hurry. He left. And on behalf of Indian Business and Professional Council and on behalf of all of you, and all the Board of Governors, it is my pleasure to thank my good friend Mr. Sandeep Nagpal, who readily agreed in the evening. As he said, today was his third workshop and I was present in the first and the second. In spite of being, I think yesterday night he reached, and he has stamina, persistence, patience, and more importantly, passion to be with all of us. And the unique thing I like, because I am a post-graduation in industrial engineering, where the first subject is productivity. So when one of my senior from NITI Bombay gave me this LMI address, I was trying to check. This was about 7 months or 8 months back. I said, I already done masters in industrial engineering. Where is the need for do another course on productivity? And then I found the best part was that they claim themselves to be the first course, effective personal productivity. They claim themselves to be delivering minimum assured 100% ROI, because I have been management trainer since 1986, way back when I was 27-year-old. But I never saw so far any management trainer, including the business schools where I visited, promise minimum assured 100% ROI. So I think you are lucky that you chose to, register and you chose to attend and set through the full program. Of course, the time was limited. So I think if you carry through this, whatever you heard today, and spread, first you practice, and if you are convinced, which he keeps on saying, for sure you will be convinced, because it assures 100% ROI. There is no doubt about it. And then promote to others. So I think that will be the real vote of thanks to Sandeep Nagpal coming to IBPC and agreeing to conduct almost 2-hour session. So thank you so much once again. Yeah. Dinner is served. So please enjoy, and he's available during the dinner if you have any questions. Thank you.
As always, Dr. Kanak is being very conservative in committing the results. We guarantee 10x results, not 1x.